It's an interesting looking field to our left. What is that? It's not potatoes. Oh, barley. I wonder if that's winter barley. It would be interesting if it is. The sunflowers are ready to harvest. Oh! And crash. Now, the maize silage will be quite lucrative income. That much we know. What I'm not sure about is how much. Obviously, it's about the same value as grass silage, so it's not super brilliant, but we do have an awful lot of it. 2 fields this year rather than just the one. So I think we were up about 1.9 million, not 1.9, 1.5 million at least litres. So that could be a fairly good income. Whole crop silage more valuable, less prevalent, or less yield. But something I could consider doing in the coming years. And then what else do we have? I don't know. Yeah, I guess then the other option is arable farming. So probably cereals, barley, oats. Might do canola for the oil, especially if we get to doing something like potatoes. And in Patchwork, good morning, welcome to our Saturday stream. And lots of things have happened since last Saturday. So, bank balance, I think our bank balance is looking fairly okay. I'm not too worried about that now. It'll see us through winter, but I would like to buy some property before or during the winter months, if those local fields would freaking cooperate. So, how was your Thanksgiving? Is using up, so I think using a sprayer with C and spot and spray or weed control, it's worth getting because it does seriously reduce the amount of fertilizer it's spreading, and it's noticeable. You can see when it turns off because you're driving over areas that are already fertilized. Okay, fertilizing contract, get paid, go home. So we can take this back. It's coming up to 10 o'clock. Hopefully the fields will dry out a little bit and we might be able to get cultivating, because this weather is really making a mess of things. Renault has 6 minutes to run. Valtra has 14 minutes to run. That's a little bit annoying, because obviously I would like to have the Valtra rowing that field as quickly as we can get it rowed. And it does look like we're going to be bailing with the big class, which is fine. That's why we have it. I think right now we are definitely at the point where I have pretty much exactly the number of tractors I want. The only question is swapping some out for others occasionally. Obviously the class 800 at the upper 200 horsepower, that does that's the gap I have between the Renault and the big class 900. I don't need the class big 900 with the equipment I have, but it does give me an opportunity to go bigger if I want to. Okay, we have 900 litres of stuff in the back of this thing. So who's in the shed at the moment? You lot. Actually, I'm going to have to sneak this back in behind the Merlot. And in order to get in order to have a parking space for a forage harvester, I am going to have to get a couple of sheds in the off-season too, and that's also a little bit of an issue. Okay, let's go find this guy and see if we can do it now. I am going to... The ground is slightly damp as opposed to soggy. Let's drive down here, see how quickly... 87 we're on at the moment. 86. We can get a little bit further, but not significantly. Oh, this is a pain. Okay, you're still going. You have 11, almost 12 minutes to get this done. You're coming up. You're doing the headlands. So pretty much 2 minutes left. And 2.5 minutes left. We'll take this back to the yard. I'm going to leave it on course play because it's going to do a fairly precise job of this. Tractor's fine. Maintenance is reasonably okay on this set, so not an issue there. I do need to windrow this, so let's go back to the store. I would like to get a sprayer. That's a thing. Oh look, big forklift. Small forklift. Is that the industrial one? Or the regular one? That's from the no, that might be the industrial one. But yeah, I want a sprayer. And I think when it comes to sprayers, because we haven't used it yet, I kind of like to use that one. I mean, it's not brilliant, but yeah, working width goes up to 28 meters. That's probably all I really want, and I probably it's 5,000. The wheel setup is fine, probably narrows on it, and the See and Spray is frightfully pricey, but yeah, it's a thing. I mean, failing that, we can go down to the Kubota, which 18 to 40 meters, 4600. That's 30. It's not got a big tank either. Give it that. But this thing doesn't have weed spray capability. That thing doesn't have weed spray capability. No. And no. So the only options we've got is weed spot spraying, yes, is this one, or this one. This one is cheaper than that one. But as I said, I haven't used the John Deere one, so I think I would like to give that a chance. Same with, yeah, it's like my deal with the mowers. I've never used the mower that we have, and I wanted to take the opportunity to do it. I'm quite pleased with it, but I think my whole setup is a problem because I'm too reliant on the Valtra, and there's other grass cutting options later. I'm going to leave this out, and the reason for that is it's one of my primary use tractors. I want the Valtra and the Class 900 at the back of the shed, because I would prefer to use this and the 800 because they will be more appropriate for the tasks we do. So actually we'll take this over to the diesel tank and get this filled up. And I can put this on the round baler for the silage later. How much diesel do we have in the tank? It's a good question. We're down to 631. We've got a lot of money, so that's no problem. So yeah, basically I can do lime spreading and baling, or round baling with this tractor. I can do all of the ploughing and seed. Actually, I can do planting. I didn't realise that. I can actually plant maize with this one. So we might do that next year. Okay, 6 minutes to run. It's now 10:30. I'm going to jump out, see what the ground says. It is slightly damp, so still too wet to cultivate. Oh, this is such a pain. But we did kind of... I didn't pay attention to the weather. All I looked at was it's going to stop raining at 8 o'clock. I did not see, oh, it's going to start raining again at 1. I'm hoping that gives me a 2-hour window from 11 o'clock till 1 o'clock to get the cultivating done. That's a lot of smoke coming out of that. Our Thanksgiving was kind of quiet. We had... the young kids are up with Grandma this weekend. There was mention that they might come for the weekend, but change of plans, so we're not seeing them this week. So just me, Mrs. Osa, and teenage Osa for tons of turkey. So we had turkey leftover day yesterday. Her family are all in Ohio. My family aren't in the country and don't do Thanksgiving, so yeah, nobody lives local that is part of our sort of family group. But that's kind of fine. Gives me a chance to rest, and with my back at the moment, yes, I need to do that. Way more than I thought I did. There seems to be a progression here. It is getting worse daily. More and more pain. We do have some patches I can stick on my back, which does help, but I don't want to use them too frequently. We went out to Amish country yesterday and did some grocery shopping, and I think I bought a new belt because my belt's just falling apart. And I think Mrs. Osa bought a couple of bits and pieces of hardware. She looked at some patio furniture and decided $500 for a chair was a little bit pricey, so she decided not to go in that route. Plus, we're still building up our emergency fund after buying a minivan this year. Christmas is all done, so that's a good thing. I think Mrs. Osa has a couple of things to wrap, but outside of that, Christmas shopping is in the past. And yeah, I'm just really taking it easy. So today none of us have any reason to go out, which is awesome. So once I finish streaming, I'll probably take a 30-minute lie down just to decompress my back. The specialist, we got a cancellation last week, so I'm now seeing the specialist on the 18th of December rather than the 2nd of January, which from a insurance point of view is good, because we did run up our family copay entirely last year or this year. So me going to see the specialist on the 18th means I don't have any out-of-pocket expenses, whereas if I'd had to go on 2nd of January, I'd be paying the full copay for that visit. Now, obviously, any remedial action, yeah, I'm going to be up on that, paying that in January. But for right now, we don't know what that's going to entail. Hopefully it's not going to entail me going to physical therapy, because that's just... I'm too old for that now. The problems I am having are just way too severe. Okay, let's see how this thing does at the end of the rows. Really doesn't like turning round, I'll give you that much. As I said before, I think it's because I think it's twofold with this tractor. It seemed to have far less problems with the Q, and I think that's because that had CVT. This has a manual gearbox, and a lot of the time the engine is hunting for the best gear to be in, plus steering at the back. The worker does seem to be a little bit challenged with rear steering on this get-up. Now, the other piece of equipment I could look at is... that's 140 horse. See, I could think about getting something like that. I think the problem is it pivots to the back, doesn't it? So it's a long way behind the tractor. This one the wheels are at the back, the merge is at the front, but it doesn't merge to the middle, it only merges to the sides from what I can tell. So it's like the one we already have, which is this thing. You can work it to the left, you can work it to the right, you can't do anything else. Same with this one, it's only a left or right merge. And having the ability to merge center means I can do a follow me with a follow me with the what do we do follow me with a baler behind the rower, or I could get a windmill one. Now the windmill ones tend to be a lot easier to control. I probably only get one with 2 windmills rather than 4 because these fields are quite tight. So just, and I think we had one originally. That does put us with the little green one that everybody uses as their starting windrower. Yeah, some starting farms will give you the Pottinger or that one. Most of them will give you that one. So that is the most common. This is a problem because it merges to the side. So you end up having to do 2 rows to make the windrow. That's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 4, and that's a 4. So I don't have much in the way of, yeah, this is the only 2 windmill windrower. But I think for the size of farm we're running, it's the one that works the best for us. Now that I'm using rounded corners on course play, I'm not having to push it into the corner. That's one of the reasons why I got the one I've got, is because it allows me to merge all the way into the corner. Whereas the big windmill ones, it's difficult to get in the corner on this map. And just mowing that field took 10% out of it. I wonder if there is an element of it's wet going on there. Okay, get the mower clean. We'll put the merger on it. We'll go merge the hay bales, or the hay first, because obviously I don't want hay sitting on the ground when it's about to rain. And I think no matter what, even if I can't get to the cultivation, I can definitely get the baling of the hay done before the rain starts. Might not be able to get the silage done. While you kind of don't want the silage getting too wet, it's we're not going to be penalised if it does. Unlike Farm Sim 19 with Seasons and Maize Plus, where you can get your hay destroyed. I don't think you can get your grass destroyed. It just gets wet again, so you have to go out and ted it. We're not going to have to do that here. Still. Okay, we're coming on 11 o'clock, so that's good. Let's put that on reverse while we set up the course. So with this, I used to do row the centre, then row the edges. But what I figured was, if I row the edges first, If you row the edges second, it starts on the inside and creates 3 smaller rows, which is actually better for a little round baler. What this does is it rows the outside and then it comes around and it pushes this row in and in, so you get one super windrow in the middle. Okay, we're coming up to 10:58. I'm going to jump out here again. The ground is slightly damp. I don't know that this is going to work, so we'll wait till 11 o'clock, see if it tags down. I could break the rules and slow time down once we hit 11. That was one of the things I was thinking. You know, I could speed up time in order to... Ground is still slightly down, but I don't think this is going to happen. Yeah. Not going to happen. Damaging cultivator. So we'll leave that there. Take this chunky tractor out. And we get the option to use our big baler. So probably, actually, you know what? There's no probably about it. We're going to do 2 tasks, or at least 1 task on the way out. Gonna have to fix it probably when we're done. But first things first, I think the diesel tank needs topped up, so we'll do that first. This might chew up all of the diesel we have on hand. Or at least a significant amount of it.